Just some updates for you on Minneapolis. It looks like Greg Bovino, who is the senior Border Patrol commander in charge of these operations that have been taking place lately, he and several agents are supposed to leave Minneapolis as far as early as Tuesday, which is tomorrow. This comes after a lot of pushback, not only from Republicans, but also you had the NRA and the Minnesota Gun Caucus, I believe, that were pushing back because of the situation involving Alex and the fact that he was licensed to carry a weapon. So that encroached on their space, and they started to get really wonky about that because that is one of those, foundational things for the Republicans, and what they're pushing is the right to bear arms. So that really caused some issue, to the point where Donald Trump said that he had a really good call with Tim Walz. This is the same guy who said is responsible for all this and has been calling him names and just being a shitbag towards him for weeks now. Suddenly had a very good call with him. And Jacob Frey, who is the mayor of Minneapolis, also said that he talked to Trump. And then this took place with Senior Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, the micro-Nazi, him and some of his Gestapo leaving, potentially heading to Atlanta, because now there are congressmen in Atlanta who are calling them to go there. So that should go well. Anyway, Trump has dispatched border czar Tom Homan to Minnesota to take charge of ICE operations. We'll see how that goes. The White House is pulling back as well from the assassin remarks. Deputy White House Chief of Staff Stephen Miller had labeled Alex an assassin, and Kristi Noem said he was guilty of domestic terrorism. This is the same kind of stuff that they did with Renee Good, and now they have started to backpedal. So the pressure has definitely ratcheted up onto them. Carolyn Leavitt, the press secretary, said Trump never used those words, so she's distancing him from that as well. So they are under a lot of pressure. If they continue to push this in other states, in other cities, that's on them. But I honestly think the pressure from all the protests and people coming at them from all directions, again, the gun lobby, Republicans, Democrats, all of that stuff started to weigh on them. Again, people think he can do whatever he wants, but it seems he is now pulling back, and all it cost was, a couple people to lose their lives, which is absolute bullshit. And others. A judge did hear about a potential pause to all operations today. She did not act. She said the case was a priority, but she didn't make an immediate ruling on that. This gets into what is within her purview as far as constitutional rights, law enforcement rights, what she can decide on this when it comes into this conflict between federal and state levels. But she will issue a ruling in the near future, and it might be a punt to somewhere else, to a different question about the actual operations. But we'll see. Again, there's a lot of pressure on the administration to stop it, or at least pause it or shift it. But the judge is working on it. Democrats, once again, have vowed to oppose Homeland Security funds, which means they don't want to have to do anything with that. And that would not be a part of any bill that they want to oppose on or vote on. So that could be an issue when it comes up to the potential government shutdown at the end of this month, where those agencies, Department of Homeland Security, which does include like the Coast Guard, they would not be funded. So that is something they are working on in DC right now. Let's see, what else? Noem is expected to appear before the Senate Judiciary Committee in March. There's been a lot of discussion about that, and there's finally an agreement after months of negotiations. Dick Durbin, who is the top Democrat on the Judiciary panel, said that is too far away. Said he wants to get him involved. With all of the violence and deaths involving DHS, the secretary is apparently in no hurry to account for her mismanagement of this national crisis, and he wants her to testify sooner. Tom Tillis, who's a Republican, he is retiring, so he's got some cojones now. He has been holding up department nominees over her refusal to appear. So there is push there as well. So that's the big of it right now, and what is going on. Movement in different directions, right? Like the court is looking at it. Bovino and some of his goons are leaving. Again, where they're going to go, don't know. we need to get into the accountability stage. The state is still working on their investigation into both Renee Good as well as Alex Preddy. Yeah. So that's something that, it's not the progress that we want right away, because we want immediate justice and we want immediate accountability, but wheels are turning. And I would ask you to remember that they're not turning as fast as I want them, for sure. But these are things that we can't forget about. And we are waiting for justice to do its thing. And I think at some point the waiting will be over. I think the waiting will be over if things aren't taken care of and there's no accountability for these deaths. No people aren't brought to justice for these things. Then this can only go on so far. And I think that's where we get into spicy territory, right? But those are the updates right now, as I have seen them. So please be aware, everybody that's out there in Minneapolis and all these towns everywhere that are protesting and pushing back in different cities. I know Maine is involved as well. Please continue to do what you're doing. Like, these things don't happen without pressure, and there is a shit ton of pressure on them right now. That's how you change behavior. And it's because of people like you filming, reporting, getting things out there, and pushing back. That's how things change. And so good on you. All the respect in the world to you. And when you see these people, when you see them on any platform, start to get away from TikTok again. But if you see them on any platform, please, boost them as much as you can and post them. They're out there on the front lines doing great work and applying this pressure to people. And get in the Democrats' faces, get in the Republicans' faces and let them be heard, or let yourself be heard, so that they can't ignore it. Bring it to the doorstep. All right. Thanks.